Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative. And this is AJ with the Plexi Film Show, and I am with.
Logan McRory. Yes, sir.
And today we're going to be talking about Back to the Future, and we're going to be starting with the description of the film. In this 1980s sci-fi classic, small-town California, teen Marty McFly is thrown back into the 1950s when an experiment by his eccentric scientist friend Doc Brown goes awry. Traveling through time in modified DeLorean car, Marty encounters young versions of his parents and must make sure that they fall in love or he'll cease to exist. Even more dauntingly, Marty has to return to his own time and save Doc Brown.
Ooh.
So, how out of 10, how would you rate this movie to your memory? Because I know you have a bad memory when it comes to films.
I do have a very bad memory when it comes to films. But I will say this. I think really in that era, you're talking 80s, 90s movies, it has to be one of the classics of that era. I would have to rate the film, really, off the short memory I do have, a solid 8.5 out of 10.
8.5 out of 10?
I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Fair enough. I'm very mean to my ratings.
You're gonna sit here and you're gonna give it like a solid 5.6.
No. I give it either 7.5 or 8 out of 10. The only reason is because of what I actually figured out today is that the film was rushed for the last month to 2 weeks of production.
Yes, it was.
And it didn't give the editors time to make it look clean and processed and all that. So that makes a few scenes very weird looking compared to everything else, which is what kills it for me.
Is it weird that for some reason I almost kind of like that because it almost adds a little different texture?
It does. It does. But like that, knowing the fact that a month got cut down to 2 weeks was very frustrating for sure.
Oh, it had to have been probably for everyone on production, everyone acting in that film as well. They probably had to make each day a lot longer for them. And it's already a long day as it is. Each day when they're on production, you're talking actors and actresses and production people are on set sometimes 18 to 20 hours a day to begin with, normally. So to have to speed up that process, make sure everything actually is right, that probably was a very stressful period for that film.
Oh, for sure. I'm gonna do favorite character and favorite scene, and then we'll go on a break. So, what is your favorite character?
Well, who else would it be? Who else would it be? Come on now. I would actually say Doc Brown.
I agree. Doc Brown. He's the OG, man.
He has to be.
He be saving everyone.
Exactly.
Literally.
I don't know if anyone. Well, obviously no one can see us tonight, but you gotta talk about your outfit a little bit since we're right here.
Oh, so I am dressed up as Marty McFly. I just don't have the red life preserver that he does, that everyone references in the film. So, but the thing is, Marty McFly actually doesn't have the life preserver most of the time. Actually, he just has the jean jacket and then a white button-down shirt with he has a pattern on his, though. I don't have a white shirt with pattern on it. I just have a white shirt. So yeah, it kind of works. It's on my graphics, so everyone can see what it looks like. So yeah.
Yeah, y'all should go to WXUT FM and go see those elite graphics.
Elite graphics, or just go on my Instagram. You can see
Your Instagram as well. You got Plexi Film Show, right? Instagram.
I do. I have a Plexi Film Show Instagram. I have a Spotify where I upload all my audios, and same with YouTube. I upload all my audios on there as well. So yeah. Why would you say Doc Brown is your favorite, though?
Why would I say he's my favorite?
Yes.
I don't know. There's just something. He's just very witty and very, I don't know. It's just his character. It's very, the mad scientist kind of character. I always kind of like those characters in those films. That style of film, anyway. I don't know.
I agree, though. The reason why I say Doc Brown is my favorite, he's really funny. He's very just kind of witty.
Yes.
He's just a great kind of character. He was like the uncle you've always wanted, that friend, the uncle that everyone thinks he's weird, but he's just a great guy overall.
Yeah, I think that's why he is one of the best, because he is weird. Like, you're quote unquote, if
You're
from the normal quote unquote. I mean, I don't believe in the word normal. I don't think there really is a true normal. But
if anyone's normal, you're boring.
Exactly.
And even if you're normal, you're weird.
I think normal people are more weird than weird people.
Exactly.
You know, because everyone has their own little quirks.
Exactly.
So if you don't have a quote unquote quirk, I think you're the weird one.
I agree. It just kind of reminds me of my first show talking about Wall-E and cannibalism. It kind of gives off that vibes.
Yeah, first you got to bring that one up, huh, AJ? Yes, sir.
Even
that elite show, Wall-E, talking about cannibalism, I kind of respectfully feared for my life that night, but that's okay.
And no one will ever remember that night because that audio was not recorded, so I had to re-record it. So no one will remember that unless you were there since day one. Only you and I would know.
That's an elite day. That was an elite day.
That was an elite
day. Pure cannibalism talk here on WXUT after 10 o'clock. It's nice, isn't it?
It is great. Anywho, what's your favorite scene of the film that you can recall, at least?
Well, I would say my favorite, I don't know. Not gonna lie. Don't remember a lot.
I know, that's why I said that you can recall. What would your favorite scene be? Is it just going to be when they first show the DeLorean?
Yeah. It's bad. I'm like the worst guest for film shows, but
you're fun.
We'll stick with that.
Fun.
I'm fun. I bring a different experience because it's like, damn.
I mean, we also talked about ice cream.
Exactly. I will say I know I'm the worst possible guest to have to try and talk an actual discussion of films. But yeah, I would say that's probably my favorite scene.
Your favorite scene? I would say my favorite scene would have to be when Marty McFly sang Johnny Be Good for the dance.
That's a great song, by the way.
It's a great song.
Classic song.
It's like the most well-known song. When everyone says Back to the Future, it's like the first thing you think of is Johnny Be Good. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone I mean, of course, you think of the other ones, Back in Time, of course, and all the other.
I think if I can recall correctly, I think Johnny Be Good, Buck Cherry, or
Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry.
You were right. Just backwards.
I said Buck Cherry. I meant Chuck Berry, a classic artist. I think that song came out, if I can recall correctly, I believe that song came out in 1953.
It came out actually 55. It came out.
I knew it was in the 50s.
So I actually talk about this, but I want to talk about it now early a little bit. So that song, you know how they went back in 1955 in the film? Mm-hmm. The song hasn't came out yet. The song came out, I think, 2 or 3 months after the dance.
Okay.
In reality, around that. I don't even remember what exact month the date was said, but it was like 2 or 3 months after the dance was when the actual song was released.
Okay. That weirdly is like one of my favorite like classic songs in general. So
fair.
That movie,
I'll be honest, that movie introduced me to a new era of music for sure.
That you never really tapped
I didn't really
into.
think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched this movie when I was younger, so when I listened to it, I was like, oh, crap. This is awesome. And I mean, my dad and I have always, listened to music together, so he's always showed me classic rock and all that. And because he was born in the late 60s.
Yeah.
So, of course, we got the 50s era with my dad, and of course all what he grew up with being a teenager as well. So I got like a wide variety of.
Both my parents also were born in the 60s, so I kind of grew up around that kind of music too a little bit. So me personally, a lot of my music taste that I don't always play, because I know other people hear me and the music I do play outside of here. But a lot of my music
especially on the ride to the station.
Especially on the ride into here. Yeah. No, but I like that Motown classic like soul music. That's really probably my favorite genre of music. I would have to say, really. Of course, classic rock, but really, I like soul music. I like the Temptations. I like Marvin Gaye. I like James Brown. Big James Brown guy. Gladys Knight and the Supremes. Like,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
both speaking.
yeah. Like, I love that kind of style of music. I don't know, it just hits the soul. That's why
It
it's
really
called soul
does.
music.
It's just great. I mean, I do enjoy my like hard rock and all that. Don't get me wrong, but I do enjoy my old classic stuff that are like just low beat, and it doesn't even have to be loud. It's just great peaceful music to listen to in the background.
Oh, yeah. Another genre that I'm also a big fan of from that kind of time frame, I'd have to say, is reggae. I love reggae
Reggae's
music.
pretty good.
Bob Marley is one of my favorite artists of all time. It's happy, it's up, it's like, you know, I don't know, it just gets you happy, you know?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I like Bob Marley, but there's only a few songs I like of his.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just because I personally, most of his songs, I just can't stand his voice.
It's the accent.
He's a great artist. He's smart. I just can't get into his music.
It's the accent. That's what it is. It's weird because I'm the kind of person I like that kind of music that I can't fully understand, so I have to learn what it is. So that way I'm like, okay. It's weird. That's why I like UK artists a little bit.
Fair enough.
Because then I'm like, oh, now I know their slang. Because I also, as a person who has grown up watching YouTube all the time, a lot of my favorite YouTubers come from overseas.
I mean, a lot of mine as well, so.
So I always just kind of pick up on their slang or pick up on whatever, and then I'm like, oh, when I hear it in a song or hear whatever, then I'm like, oh, I know what they're actually talking about.
Exactly. I mean, it makes sense, though, to a point, I guess. I just wish I could have... People are like, oh my god, Bob Marley. I'm like, yeah, I like his 3 most popular songs.
Every little thing.
Exactly.
Gonna be alright.
And it's just... I don't know, something with that song. And you know what's funny? The first time I heard that song was from the movie Shark Tale.
Great movie. Have you done that show on here before?
That movie? No, I've not talked about Shark Tale yet.
Interesting.
I'll have to do it at some point, though.
Interesting.
Sure.
50 Shades of Grey is coming up next, by the way.
50 Shades of Grey.
No, I'm just kidding. It's definitely not, but... I mean, you never know.
You never
know.
You never
Might
know.
be only about 40 shades at that point.
10 shades, actually. All right, anywho, we're going to go on about a 10-minute hiatus, so we'll be back. Listen to the wonderful soundtrack of Back to the Future.
Did you know that 1/3 of U.S. college students are affected by hunger and seek assistance at food pantries? It's disheartening to know that a fellow classmate or friend may have to choose between eating a meal and purchasing school supplies. Thankfully, at U Toledo, we have a food pantry right here on campus, and it's open to everyone free of charge. This month, at the Crop Walk, you can learn more about Rocket Fuel and interact with those working to reduce college hunger here at the University of Toledo. This 5K will take place on Sunday, September 22nd, starting at 1 p.m. Kickoff is on the lawn at Toledo Campus Ministry, which is located immediately across the street from parking lot 13. For more information, contact Pastor Amy at tcmexecutivedirector@gmail.com or access information online at crophungerwalk.org/Toledo, Ohio. Again, for more information, contact Pastor Amy at tcmexecutivedirector@gmail.com or access information online at crophungerwalk.org/Toledo, Ohio. And again, the date is September 22nd at 1 p.m. across the lot from parking lot 13.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WXUT 88.3. This is Toledo's only alternative, and this is AJ with the Plexi Film Show, and we're going to be continuing on with Back to the Future with
Logan McRory.
And we're going to be continuing with some of the theories that I was able to find online. Are you ready? Are you excited?
I'm born ready, boss.
You're born ready?
Born ready.
All right, so the first theory is going to be when Doc changed his mind. All right?
Okay. I'm here.
I'm going to read what I had, and we'll go from there. All right?
Sounds good.
When George McFly, stood up for Biff for the first time in his life, which saved Marty and his siblings, right? Doc finally sees that this change of going back in time and affecting, timeline isn't just always negative and can be positive sometimes. And this is what Doc saw for the first time that the time machine isn't always for the negative. So he realized that and started doing more adventures that can impact their life for the better.
Okay.
Doc has been showed by Marty, like I said, that messing up with the timeline can be for the good and not always in the bad. Which then Doc reads the letter that Marty wrote for him and wears the vest, which saves his life at the end of the movie. So, you have any comments for that one? I mean, that one's kind of like simple. I usually get like deeper into the theory.
Yeah, that does seem like a simple theory. I could easily see that. Like, that seems like, 100%. Like, totally.
All right. No, you're good. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
What was I gonna say? Oh, you know. Do you know what Lorraine's trauma is?
No.
No. Do you want to take a guess on why she has trauma? Because if you remember, because Lorraine is, of course, Marty's mom.
Yes.
And she's drinking and smoking at the beginning of the movie. Do you have any idea why?
Mental health problems.
But do you have any idea what caused that? Do you want to take a guess if you remember anything that happened in the movie? Or possibly.
The dad left. No, I'm just kidding.
No, alright. I want to go into it. So, I'm not going to say the word. I'm just going to say Lorraine was assaulted.
Oh, I get where it's going already.
Yes. Do you want to take a guess by who?
Doc Brown.
No. Dude, that's crazy.
I don't know. Yeah, Doc Brown.
So, no. Lorraine was assaulted by Biff. If you remember, Biff is always always trying to get her attention and says some weird comments to her throughout the whole film just to get, to her. And there's a theory that, if you remember correctly, at the end of the movie, Lorraine or Marty's parents look better. They're in a better house, right, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And, Marty's dad, George McFly, is actually better. He has his own book and everything now and all that. But that's because George finally stood up for Biff for the first time, which Marty was very surprised that he did that he even commented, oh crap, that was his first time ever standing up to Biff. Because even at the beginning of the movie, you can see Biff making fun of George and all that.
Yeah.
Still, and being a pest and all that. So Biff has always had an obsession with Lorraine and always teased her and all that. Instead of Marty taking out Lorraine, it was supposed to be George, how originally it was supposed to be. George and Biff goes up to the... and so, like I said, it was Marty instead with George and takes him out and goes in the car with Lorraine, and then all that crap goes down. The only way, if you remember, like I said, the only way that Lorraine was able to cope was, drinking and smoking cigarettes. That is also part of it, through the trauma through that, along with George never, because this was before, Marty, fixed things and all that, and George actually stood up for Biff for the first time. But another reason why Lorraine's drinking and smoking is because she realized that she's married to a guy that will never stand up for her. But to the fact that she's happy she's married to him because she knows George's not going to do anything to her. So it's like a positive and negative, but she's more...
A double-edged sword right there.
So, Lorraine says a comment that, girls with boys always asking for trouble. That's like another sign that she's gone through trauma through that and all that. And Marty's girlfriend reminds Lorraine of herself when she was younger and the trauma that she dealt with. It's like whenever Marty tells, hey, I'm going to be out with a girlfriend, it's just like a trigger for Lorraine. Like, that was me when I was younger. That could also happen to her and all that. So yeah, that's kind of like the trauma for Lorraine, if that makes sense. You have any thoughts or any opinions on that one?
It's a really deep one. You went from very not deep to very, really deep.
Yes.
On the second one. I I can see that. I could see it.
You can see that?
I could see that. I don't know what else to add to it, really.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I could see that. It would make sense. Yeah.
Right.
What about you?
My opinion?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, I never really thought about that because the movie has so much going for it. And when it came to the movie with them deciding whether or not they wanted to choose a movie to do with time travel, it's very complicated because you have to get all the character stories specifically and make sure the dialogue lines up with the timeline and all that. So it makes sense. It makes sense to put it in words. Yeah. Anyway, did you know that actually, if it wasn't for Doc Brown, Marty would be dead? That's unnecessary.
No, well, yeah, that would make sense.
Do you want to take any guesses why that is?
No.
No. So if you realize throughout the film that Doc is like whenever Marty's in danger and right when he's about to reach the highest level of danger, Doc's right there.
Yeah.
The theory is that Doc has already gone back in time to see how things with their parents and how things would go, and he would go back in time because how many times he's messed up, he saw Marty die. He would be like, oh, I need to be right here at a certain time, and then he would go back in time multiple times, and then he saves them, and he's like, okay, I'm finally made the right choice. So that's why in the film you see Doc right there. Even throughout the series, like, I don't know if you remember in the second one, right when he's about to get hit by Biff's car or fall off on the roof, Marty's on the edge of death, like right then and there.
Yeah.
Doc's right there. Literally seconds after, which is insane, but it makes sense, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
No, you're good. I can see your gears grinding, so I was just kind of letting you think a little bit about that.
No, yeah. I could... Actually, that one probably makes the most sense so far.
Makes the most sense?
I think so.
Okay,
You know, if you dig in deeper, and yeah. I don't know what else more to say.
No, you're good. All right. So, this one kind of will be a conversation starter. Because thinking about it will make your gears grind a little bit. So why is Doc and Marty even friends in the first place? He's a teenager in high school and he's, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 years old. Why do you think they're hanging out? Like, isn't that a little bit weird? I mean, it's
a little sus, as those in our generation would say.
I mean, if you think about it, back then it wouldn't be as strange, but now it would be. Because they had nothing to worry... I wouldn't say nothing to worry about, that, but like it was not as much of a concern back then. Because you're like, oh, I'm making a friend. And you don't have all these technology devices realizing who your friends are and all that. So, but do you have any idea why they became friends? This is actually a pretty fun one, actually. I like this one. Not that type of fun. It's time to go. All right. Anyhow,
no. No.
You have no idea.
It is kind of weird to see, like, maybe Marty saved his life first.
I mean, he has, but it's not the reason why they're friends. Do you have any ideas? No? Alright. I want to go...
It's going to be like Home Alone 2 with the bird lady.
The bird lady.
Because it's the only person that actually liked Doc Brown because he's lonely. And Marty
that is
McFly,
partially, actually.
And Marty McFly, in Doc Brown's world, it's his imaginary friend.
Kind of. I'll go into that a little bit, alright? So, Marty was told for years, I don't know if you heard through the dialogue if you listen closely, and especially if you haven't seen it recently, you probably don't remember. But you hear in a little bit of the dialogue, but Marty's been told throughout the years that Doc was weird, dangerous, and a lunatic. He stole
Facts.
plutonium.
Facts.
Like,
That's
why would
facts.
you want to hang out with someone that's stealing something as dangerous and stuff like that? So for being a teenager boy, Marty wanted to find something more to his life. He wants to have a friend. He's kind of lonely. I don't know if you really noticed. He really doesn't have any friends besides Doc and then his girlfriend and then his family, and that's pretty much it. Even and I just realized this. So at the beginning when he's performing to be part of Battle of the Bands, right? I didn't even realize that was Marty's band.
Really?
Yes. But the fact that he doesn't seem like he correlates, it kind of gives me like the Jack Black idea of, I don't know if you remember School of Rock, he acted like he was better than everyone. That's kind of like the vibe that I was getting from Marty, but more so he just kind of isolates himself type of idea. But anywho, he doesn't really have many friends. He doesn't really talk about having many friends either. He just wants to have a life that's different from everyone else's, kind of. And, being a teenager, especially, because we don't know how long they've been friends, but, like, we're thinking maybe 14, 15 years old, maybe early middle school, high school years.
Right.
Being a curious kid, he probably just walked into Doc's lab and saw some stuff that interested him, like music, because that is one thing that they do both bond over is music. Doc and Marty bond amazingly through music. There's always a saxophone. There's a guitar and an amp at the beginning of the movie, so of course Marty's going to find something that interests him.
Right.
So that intrigues him, and of course when it came to Doc, he finally found someone that didn't think he was weird and actually thought of him as a real person rather than whatever you're calling me.
I'm
that
a
is
quote
not
unquote
true.
like nerdy, like you're not your
Stereotypical.
Like we mentioned a little bit earlier, normal quote unquote person. You know, they had similar interests. Yeah, makes a lot of that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
All right, you have any other comments before we end this segment?
No.
No? All right, we're going to be continuing with the soundtrack of Back to the Future. All right, enjoy this beautiful soundtrack. I guarantee you guys are going to love it.
No, this soundtrack is a pretty elite soundtrack.
It's a pretty banger soundtrack.
It for a film, it is a very nice one.
All right, enjoy. See you in 10 minutes. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Plexi Film Show. This is AJ, and today we're continuing on with Back to the Future. And I am with
Logan McCrory.
So yeah, we're going to continue on, and we're going to be starting with the fun facts, because we just got done with all the theories. So are you ready for that?
I'm born ready.
Born ready? All right.
Yes, sir.
So these ones, you're kind of going to be listening to me talk about all this. So, yeah. Unless if you have a comment to say, just let me know. Just push me out of the way. I'll let you talk. Okay?
Bet, broski.
Alrighty. Did you know that the original... Okay, first of all, did you know that there was originally a different actor for Marty McFly?
Yes.
Do you have any clue what the name was?
No.
Eric Stoltz.
Okay. I did know. I believe, what was it? The first 2 weeks of filming, or
it was like the first 2 weeks or 2 months. I can't remember. I think it was the first 2 weeks. That seems more realistic.
Or no, what it was I think they filmed the first half of the movie.
I think it was just the first 2 weeks of filming.
Oh, I thought it was the first half of filming, and then they realized, oh no, we need somebody else.
Because the director for what show? But Michael J. Fox was on a show, and the director of that show wouldn't let Steven Spielberg take over and have Michael J. Fox. But after a while, after seeing Eric Stoltz perform, they're like, this is not who we want at all. We need Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
So yeah, the original actor was supposed to be Eric Stoltz and for Marty McFly, but then got fired in the most nicest way possible, and Eric Stoltz still freaked the crap out for no reason. Michael J. Fox was hard to get because he was originally on the show Family Ties. That's what the show was. And the director for that show wouldn't let Steven Spielberg take him, but then eventually they let Michael J. Fox be Marty, and then they had to reshoot a lot of scenes actually, which costed them, you want to take a guess how much money?
In that time money, I'd say.
Just overall in general. I think it would be. I think this information would be during that time. So,
I'd still say probably close to $2 million.
They're close, $3 million.
Okay, I was originally going 2 or 3. I wish I would have said 3, but
Which is still a lot. It's insane. But yeah, it costed them $3 million to reshoot everything that they shot for Eric Stoltz. But there was 2 scenes that were left in the final film that Eric Stoltz is in, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the shots would be when Marty jumps into the car at the beginning of the film, like right when he leaps into it, because Doc got shot and he's trying to escape the bandits and whatnot. And the scene where all you see is just the fist of Marty McFly punch Biff. That's the only 2 scenes you see of Eric Stoltz that is in the final film.
So would he get any kind of credit for that though? That's the real question.
I think they finished off with that, like Eric Stoltz payment. Still, I think he was still paid for just what he worked for. I don't think he got full payment, what he was originally supposed to get, but I think he just got.
He probably got the payment of what he did.
Of what he did, yes. If not, that's kind of messed up, honestly. I don't know the facts on that, but yeah.
I would have to assume that they would have had to have still given him some kind of credit in the actual credits for the fact that he still was in the movie.
I think he was just in it. I don't think he got the title of Marty McFly, though.
No, but he should have been involved in the credits. We would have to look at the credits.
I would have to deep.
But I feel like he would still have to get some kind of mentioning in the credits somewhere for. Oh yeah.
I can look that up real quick.
I feel like it would only have to be fair since the fact of he's literally in the film. Still, regardless of how little it ended up being.
Let's see. I would have to go deep diving in the websites.
Because then if I'm Eric Stoltz and I saw that I'm still technically in there watching the film and I'm not on the credits, it would kind of irritate me a little bit.
I mean, the video that I found this fact on, because it showed some of the scenes that Eric Stoltz actually, like you would see Michael J. Fox. It didn't really, like, I understand why they replaced him. Like, not in a bad way, but, like, it didn't give off the bright vibes. Like, he just seemed like he was emo. Just think of an emo Marty. That's what Eric Stoltz kind of gave the vibe of.
Well, I'll say this. Maybe that was the vibe they were originally going for.
Maybe.
Too. Maybe that's a producer problem, and that's the vibe that they were going for, and then they realized, oh, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't. And maybe he fit that role more, but then they realized maybe we need to change the role of Marty McFly himself.
Maybe, I don't know. You never know. Things change every day, and film changes a lot.
It actually does. If you really want to dive into a lot of films, most of the time, they really don't get their first person they want. Not always.
Mm-mm.
Actually, a lot of time they really
With
don't.
film, you have to learn to accept change. And you have to learn things are not going to go your way. Either, like, sure, we all have an image of what we want, but things are never going to turn out as perfect as we want it to be, because we can only do so much with reality and with the technology we have.
Yes.
Anywho.
No, but you're right, though. Like, film is one of those things, if you really want to dive into every single film that's ever existed, a lot, even, like, early film.
Like, there's a lot of blooper scenes that are just left in the movie because it works.
Oh, yeah.
And even though it's
a lot
not,
of times.
Oh, most of, like, a lot of times.
Honestly, a lot of blooper scenes, or the unscripted scenes, or, like, the unscripted moments,
are the best in the, like, in today's, more so today, movies include, like, keep stuff, especially in a lot of the like, the name brand Avengers movies, there's a lot of moments for that.
Oh, yeah, and I think it's also credit to the actors for on the fly just knowing something could work.
You know,
even if it's not even like they're trying to make it work, it almost works better.
Oh, yeah.
You
know
know
the one dinner... I don't know how much of a fan you are with the Avengers. Are you a fan?
I'm a fan. Yeah, I've watched some of the Avengers. I will say this. I have watched the most recent with Deadpool and Wolverine. I have seen that movie, so...
Fair enough. It is a good movie.
I will say, I am a Deadpool guy. I do like Deadpool
I'm a Deadpool
a lot.
guy.
So, He's probably one of my favorites. And I don't know. I think it's just the differing of the character Deadpool himself, because he's not really supposed to be like that.
He's an anti-hero.
He's an anti-hero, but Ryan Reynolds made the character more just out there, you know?
Yes,
he's
really
like,
did.
he's going to be like this. Because he's not really, like, Deadpool really isn't like...
Deadpool's worse. Deadpool is a lot more gruesome.
He's a lot more gruesome, but I don't feel like he's very, raunchy.
He's raunchy. You know why?
Why?
Because he's in pain constant. He's in constant pain all the time. Because of the regenerating cells, which is the cancer cells, so he's constantly in pain. So the way he gets over that is just by making jokes.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And it's funny because the creator of Deadpool...
Basically, he's a walking cancer.
He is. He's a walking cancer cell.
That's why he's the way he is, man. And that's why it works. Because that cancer will never die. That's why he's never going to die.
Exactly. I mean, he can die. I mean, you saw in Deadpool 2, he almost died.
Won't matter.
It won't matter.
He regenerates back.
I mean, in the second one...
Unless he gets completely eviscerated.
I mean, you saw in the second one he almost died, which is the collar that he has to wear.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason he almost died, but when he fell on that table, the collar fell off right at the perfect time. If that was on still, he would have died right then and there.
Probably.
Because he was just a normal human, and he was suffering through cancer all over again right then and there in that place. That's why he's like robotic as heck.
Yeah.
But yeah. We love off-topic conversations.
Bro, off-topic conversations, specifically in radio, it almost adds a little more dynamic.
It does. It adds a lot more character to it.
It really does.
And personality. Life to it.
We love life.
We love life. Anywho, let's move on. Did you know that Christopher Lloyd was originally didn't want to be in the film?
That also happens a lot in film, too.
But
you get both of those worlds.
You get a lot of both of those worlds, but like someone, literally, this was just the fact he was just convinced by one of his close friends, and that was why. What made Christopher Lloyd as a character? It was a mix between Albert Einstein and someone. Oh, it was another scientist I can't think of. I can't remember what they said.
Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, definitely no.
Albert Einstein and Oppenheimer.
That is crazy. That would be a
now,
crazy
that's
combo.
a film I know a lot about. It's one of my favorite films of all time. Simply. It's
Albert Einstein versus Oppenheimer?
No, Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is actually one of my favorite films of all time. It's crazy to say. And how long that movie is, it actually had my attention the whole time.
I've yet to see it.
You have never seen Oppenheimer?
No.
You didn't
It's
pull
never intrigued me.
You never pulled a Barbenheimer? I pulled a Barbenheimer with Aaron.
You literally
Shout out Aaron.
watched back to back?
I did. I went with David
That is crazy.
and Aaron to go watch Barbie. And
Barbie's
then later
good.
that night,
Barbie's good.
it was about midnight. We're going to see Oppenheimer. But David...
Wait, the theater lets you in? Usually at 10 o'clock, theaters lock their doors so no one can walk in.
They had a late night show.
Oh, because you're already in there.
Yeah. Had a late night show. Well, no. We actually went to Barbie earlier in the day. We went to a totally different movie theater for 25, 30 minutes away from here. And then...
So you went from the Franklin Park Mall to somewhere else.
The first movie we were up in, I believe, we were up in Monroe at the heated seats. I think it's Phoenix Theaters.
Of course you did.
Yeah, the heated, reclining seats. And then me and Aaron at home, we're like, we got to go see Oppenheimer too. We got to pull the Barbenheimer. So we go to the last time. I think it started at 11:30 or whatever. We didn't leave the movie theater until 2:15, 2:30.
Oh my God.
And the craziest part is I wasn't tired.
At all.
At all.
That is crazy.
It was a great film.
See, that is one movie, I seen the memes, but I was just never intrigued to watch Oppenheimer. I know it's about history. I don't mind history movies, but I don't know. I like history to a point, but I don't really need
You don't want to dwell on the past, for real.
I don't want to watch movies that already happened in history. I'm sorry. I don't want to fantasize about history. That's just me.
No, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I am a history person in general, so that kind of stuff is a little more intriguing for me.
I get that.
I don't know why, but I just loved, Callie Murphy, dog. Robert Downey Jr. in that movie.
That's the only that was, you know what's funny? That's
elite.
That's the only reason that got me really close to watching Oppenheimer, is just because of Robert Downey Jr.
His character in that film is honestly one of the best characters I think I've watched. To be honest with you, it took a turn. I don't want to spoil nothing for you if you ever end up watching Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
But it's
worth the watch.
It is worth the watch, and it is worth the time.
You know, it's also worth the watch and worth the time.
Moving on to this topic.
I mean that too, but yeah, Avatar. Not The Last Airbender, but Avatar.
I have watched both.
They're both. The Way of Water is crazy. I don't know why it wasn't talked about, because honestly, I had nothing to complain about the movie. Nothing. Besides, it almost broke me so many times emotionally.
It
is such a pretty movie.
It is.
It is a really pretty movie.
Oddly enough, I don't know why this came to my mind right now to stay off topic, but one of my favorite movies of all time, I don't know why it is, but it is. It's The Jungle Book.
The Jungle Book?
I love
the live action or the original?
Both.
I've not seen the live action.
I love both. Live action's
I like
good.
the original. I haven't seen the original Jungle Book in forever.
I used to have OG the Jungle Book. You're talking the animated from the 50s.
Yeah.
I had that.
I did it on the VHS. Same here. Let's go.
Yes, sir. I had so many movies on VHS
Me too.
tapes. I had the Jungle Book. We had Cinderella.
I had Jimmy Neutron on VHS.
You had Jimmy Neutron on VHS?
Yes, I did.
That's nuts.
Like the movie Jimmy Neutron?
Oh, the movie. Okay, I was about to say you were watching seasons of Jimmy Neutron. You got Jimmy Neutron season 1 on a VHS tape, then season 2 on a VHS tape.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like,
definitely.
wow.
No, I had the movie on VHS, though. The movie goes hard.
I don't care what anyone says. They should bring back VHS tapes just because of the nostalgia of them.
I mean, I don't even need the nostalgia. I just feel like it's important to go back to physical media, because without it, it's something like we can literally just wipe this computer and it's gone. Destroy it. It's gone. I mean, same thing with physical media. You can destroy it and it's gone, but you can easily backtrack it a little bit better. You don't need internet to backtrack film.
Right.
You don't need...
It's right there.
You don't need electric to backtrack film. I mean, I don't know if you had to do this as a kid, but when film would corrupt, you could just... Especially if it ripped, you can tape it back.
Yes.
You're fine.
Right.
But yeah. And all you have to do is physically rewind it, even though it's dangerous to physically rewind it, but like, if you didn't have a rewinder, that was the only way to do it. And we had the rewinder within the, VHS player and a physical rewinder itself. My dad always got mad if I used the VHS player as a rewinder, so we got a VHS rewinder specifically. So, anyway, moving on. We got so far off topic.
And that's all right.
That's all right, though.
It's all right. It happens.
It happens from time to time. I'm going to talk about 2 more facts, and we're going to take a break.
Sounds good.
All right. I would say I have more facts than 2 more, of course, but we're going to do 2 more facts, and we're going to go on break. Because we still have plenty of time. So why not save that time for more facts? Anywho, musician Huey Lewis, who wrote 2 hits from the film, The Power of Love and Back in Time, appears as the Battle of the Bands judge, the one that says, your music's darn loud. He's the one that wrote those 2 songs for the film.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Anywho.
Why are you laughing, bro? What's funny?
Nothing. I'm just smirking.
Why are you smirking? I don't know why. AJ's all of a sudden just starting to laugh here. I'm just trying to understand what's funny.
Nothing. Michael...
AJ's losing himself right now. I don't get it.
Michael J. Fox. Did you know that Michael J. Fox, when he sings Johnny Be Good, wasn't actually him singing? It was...
That would make a lot of sense, I would assume.
It was actually done by Mark Campbell. So
Shout out his stunt double.
what?
No, I'm just kidding.
It was just a voiceover by Mark Campbell. So
Homie's out here going like,
I guarantee you probably tried, because sometimes they would sing, like actually try to sing, and then they would just take out that audio and
New
over.
Orleans. Not about to hit with copyright. Hey.
Heck yeah. Anywho, we're gonna be taking a 10-minute break. We'll see you back on at 11:22. All right. Enjoy some more of Back to the Future soundtrack. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative. This is AJ with the Plexi Film Show, and I am here with
Logan McCrory.
Heck yeah. And today we're going to be continuing to talk about Back to the Future. We got a few more facts here with us to talk about before we go into some product placements and our last question for the night. Are you ready?
I was born ready, sir.
All right, perfect. Anywho, did you know the Burger King at the beginning of the film, when you see Marty skateboarding to, school, was not product placement? They shot that shot without anything.
Burger King is the worst fast food restaurant
That's what you gotta say.
of all time.
Arby's is.
No, Burger King's so much worse.
Oh no, I'd
Burger
rather
King
have a Burger
is.
King any day.
I would literally have anything else
I'd rather have.
on this planet, regardless of what it is, how deep, how awful, comparative to Burger King. Burger King.
How about
literally,
just a Whopper?
The best thing at Burger King isn't even made from Burger King. It's a pre-packaged Hershey pie that you can get for like $1 at the freezer section.
Why not the Whopper? The Whopper's good. I like the Whopper.
The only other good thing from Burger King is their jingles. That's about it.
You don't like their Whopper?
I like the jingles and the Hershey pie.
Bro.
That's all they provide for society. Nothing else.
How about Arby's? Arby's. The only thing that Arby has going for them is their mozzarella sticks.
Their curly fries are elite. The potato cakes are back for a limited time. Not
crazy.
promo here. There's no promo about this. But also, their buffalo chicken sliders are sneaky good.
Dude, those are so... I used to work at Arby's, right? Those were so annoying to make, because we would have to get the sauce out, pour it into a pan, warm it up.
I wonder why you say Arby's is the worst. You work there.
It's so garbage.
When you work someplace, of course.
I
it's
do have
not
to
as
say,
bad.
Arby's has the best chicken out of all restaurant chains. Like, fast food restaurants.
Hold on.
Besides Wendy's. Wendy's chickens.
So you're telling me it's better than Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, or KFC?
Oh, it's definitely better than Chick-fil-A. Anything's better than Chick-fil-A's chicken. That's overpriced chicken.
I'm not saying it isn't, like, overpriced, but it is actual chicken.
So is Arby's chicken tenders and shit. Yeah.
So you breaded it yourself. You hand-breaded them chicken tenders and put it in a fryer.
No, I'm saying...
Or was it pre-packaged, frozen chicken tenders you just dropped down in a fryer?
So is Chick-fil-A.
It is not. I worked at Chick-fil-A. You hand-breaded
You
everything.
hand-breaded them?
Hand-breaded everything.
That is crazy.
We have a breader.
No.
Shout out Chick-fil-A. And it's crazy because Popeyes and KFC also.
KFC's fire. I love their
Always bread their stuff.
bowl, their chicken bowl. Perfect thing ever at KFC. Their chicken bowl. I need to go
That's
back
fair.
to KFC.
I think Popeyes actual fried chicken is better.
We need to go. WXUT needs to go to KFC and get a chicken bowl.
One massive chicken bowl for the station. Just a catering chicken bowl.
Catering chicken bowl. That'd be fire. Honestly.
Anyway, back to
the show.
That's crazy. That wasn't product. Did they
They gorilla shot that. Yes.
They just shot that at an actual Burger King. Is that what you're saying?
No, they just shot it without permission or no payment towards them. Nothing.
Oh, so they just were like, hey, we're just gonna film here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Twin Pines Mall is actually I don't know how to say it. Puente Hills Mall in the City of Industry in California.
Usually how that works a lot of the times in film like that. Shout out to A Man Called Otto filming at the train station here in Toledo.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Amtrak in Toledo.
Amtrak goes fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible.
Don't go to the Amtrak station in Toledo.
You want to hear something about Amtrak?
Sure.
I got a quick story real
Oh,
quick.
okay. All right.
So I was going to New Mexico for Philmont, for Scouts, right? So I got to go to New Mexico in the mountains, right? When I was coming back home, this was also during the fires in California and all that, right? So,
Oh, yeah.
And the hurricane. So all that delayed one day already, right? So I stayed in Chicago. And then we stayed for another day. You want to take a guess why?
Can you repeat that? Hold on.
So the first reason was the fires and the hurricane at that time in California. So I stayed in Chicago for one day, and then I had to stay for another day, but it wasn't for that reason. It was for a different reason.
Something happened in Chicago, didn't it?
No, someone died on that train. So we had to wait a whole nother day to get on the train, and I will... Okay. I will say this is true. Before, coming home, when I was heading down in New Mexico, I swear, I know this is going to sound fiction. I could have been lucid dreaming or whatnot, but I swear to gosh, this was, realest thing ever. I woke up on the train, right? Everyone was asleep, but I saw someone in a gas mask walk by me and up front and then put their lips up to their face and then just kept walking. I was like, bro, what the heck is going on? And probably Logan. Are you saying me or that guy?
Probably both.
I promise you I didn't do any of that. Because I didn't do it at that time.
So
and I
you're
still
telling
don't do
me
it now.
you're telling me you don't be a nice person. That's what you're saying.
I'm a nice person, that's for sure. But, people were always saying, dude, what are you talking about? I'm like, I swear to gosh, I saw someone in a gas mask walk by.
Bro was asleep. Bro was asleep, 100%.
I was probably lucid dreaming, probably.
No,
I don't know. But it seems so...
Homie
so
was
real.
controlling his dreams. I'm like, I need to see a human in a gas mask walk on this train right now.
Train crashes. Like in Bullet Train.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That's another movie I want to talk about on the show. Alright, anywho, moving on. Did you know if you remember the opening credits to the movie, there was one clock foreshadowing that Doc was going to be hanging from the clock tower?
I do not recall.
So, yeah, there is a clock that is in the opening credits. Because, it shows, his inventions and stuff in his space, right?
Yeah.
One of the clocks is literally the minute hand of Doc holding on that. And it's really interesting. I'll have to show you during break. So, yeah, I find that really interesting. Michael J. Fox did a PSA in Australia. This is a fun fact, by the way. Michael J. Fox did a PSA in Australia telling kids it's dangerous to ride behind cars on a skateboard. I kid you not.
What?
Yeah. He went to Australia and did a PSA saying that kids shouldn't do that. Because you know how back then kids were influencing teenagers by what they see in movie compared to what happens now. Everyone just doesn't really do that stuff. I mean, most quote normal people wouldn't really do that stuff. Anywho, moving on to the last fact that I have before moving on to product placement, because it's a whole list of product placement. I only wrote down what was interesting, I should say. Doc's middle name is Lathrop, and if you say Emmett Lathrop backwards, it kind of sounds like Time Portal.
You know what I call that?
What?
A reach! No, I'm just kidding. No, it's probably right.
But it kind of gave me the vibes of Holes, like Stanley yelling at to Stanley Stan. That's what it kind of reminds me. So
Now, that is a movie I could truly deep dive in.
We can do that.
I love Holes.
Holes is a great movie. How are you feeling right now? Is it hot in the station?
It is really hot in the station right now. For all those people out there, I don't think people realize a lot of stuff with media stuff, specifically when it comes to like studio lighting.
Oh yeah.
Outside of like we wouldn't have any studio lighting
Yeah.
here.
Well,
But because of the studio, it's a very crammed studio. Like the actual studio itself, it's
very cramped.
boxed off, and there's no like air circulation inside
Yeah.
the station. And specifically this part, the studio.
Yeah.
And well, it gets pretty hot.
Like we have the door open and it doesn't do anything.
No, it doesn't.
And we usually turn on the fan between
breaks.
Yeah, between.
Because if we had it on during, it would be very loud and you would easily hear it and it would make audio muffled. So then what it does is it causes the talent in here on radio to almost suffer from heat stroke sometimes. No, I'm just kidding.
Pretty much.
But realistically, you start sweating buckets to the point of where sometimes you just say, screw it, shirt needs to come off from time to time.
And you get really personal sometimes.
Yeah, you do. If you can't tell right now, me and AJ are both staring at each other with no shirts on.
I'm wearing a shirt.
No, you're not.
I'm wearing
Don't fool these people. You are not wearing a shirt right now. You could just be waving the shirt in front of the mic.
I promise you it's on.
See, I'm wearing a shirt.
Here, I'm buttoning up right now.
Don't you dare.
Wait. I gotta There you go, I'm buttoned up. Just one button. It feels so wrong. There we go, I'm buttoning. There you go. Anywho, product placement. There is a lot of it in this film. I mean, a crap ton. Of course, starting off the most iconic, which is the Toyota truck that Marty wants and gets. Of course, another one that you see throughout the whole thing is, of course, Pepsi, Texaco, alcohol, and then basics as in you see Raid, you see Scott Towels, you see Maxwell Coffee House, you see Wonder Bread, you see McCormick Pepper, and this is actually what I don't remember, but I kind of think I remember is them playing the game of life at the end of the movie. I think that's what that is from, which is his brother and sister, and he wakes up, he's like, oh my god, what are you doing here? Why are you dressed up all funny? Almond Joy is another product placement. Milk Bones for like Artie, because you know, Dr. Ock, wow, Spider-Man over here. I know, Doc Brown's dog. Another dog brand, Cal Can dog food, and then Rice Krispies.
That's a lot of product placement.
There's a lot more, and I didn't even write it down.
That is honestly like. How many did you just list off? You listed off like 11 product placements.
More, I think it's more than 11. 4 of it. I didn't. Oh, I forgot one. But I didn't. Am I allowed to say alcohol brands or no?
Yeah.
Miller Beer, Light Beer, Bud Light, and then Popov vodka. Those are just the alcohol right there.
That's crazy.
Oh, and then I forgot Marlboro Reds for the cigarettes. I think they were Marlboro Reds. I didn't write it down, but I forgot to write down that. But yeah, those are all the product placements. All right, you ready to take another 10-minute break?
Yes.
Yes? All right. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and we're going to finish the show with our final question of the night, like I usually do. I usually have the question related to our movie. And then after that question, it's the end of the show, and how many minutes we have left, we just play the soundtrack. All right? Enjoy the soundtrack. We'll see you guys back on at 11:45. See you guys soon. This is WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative with AJ with the Plexi Film Show. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative. This is AJ with the Plexi Film Show, and today I am here with
Logan McCrory.
And we're going to be finishing up our episode with our last question of the night, which is, drum roll, if I could fix an event in my life, either past or future, what would you fix?
Ooh. We can get real deep here.
Yeah, we are.
There's way too many things I could say right now.
It can either be as personal as you want or as free as you want. You don't even have to go into details. You can just simply just say an event in your life. You're as free as you want.
That I could change or fix.
Yes.
That's what you said.
Because you can always try to fix, or you can always change something, but whether or not of that choice it can fix it or not. So the question is technically, if I could fix an event in my life, either past or future, what would I fix?
You go first.
Me? Oh boy. There's a lot of things in my life that I could fix. I mean, we all have that. Oh boy. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of things in my life I wish I could have fixed. I'd say more recently, I don't really want to go personal with it, but I had an argument with one of my best friends, and I mean we're on good terms now, and I just wish I wish I could fix for what I've done.
It's fair. Yeah. I think one thing I could fix maybe is better understanding other people I'm closest to. You know, I feel like in some ways it's the communication styles of people that, you know, sometimes it's just different, and I guess what I'm saying is actually hearing people out first before coming to conclusions in my own head and overthinking. So really, it all stems back to changing the way my mind works because I'm an overthinker.
And I don't know, is there even anything how we could fix our brains on overthinking anyways? I mean, medication, clearly, but like, what?
There is ways. I think it's more so
just opening up and letting others speak more than yourself, I'm guessing?
No, I feel like that might make it worse.
Really?
I feel like is being able to say like, oh, I am an overthinker, but actually communicate that to people.
Fair.
And communicate what makes you overthink, why do you overthink, and then maybe those people will better understand how your mind works, and then in turn will communicate their stuff in a way to where you can truly understand.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
Because truth of the matter is, I feel like everyone's biggest enemy
is their brain.
Is their own mind.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you that for a fact. My worst enemy is my brain.
The biggest enemy of every single person is their own mind. Because regardless of what people say, oh, you know, about other people, you know, you can say there's people out there who are your enemies, and there are. People do have enemies. It's just part of life. But the biggest one is yourself.
I can agree to that. For a future event, I would say, I like you said, you want to change being an overthinker. I mean, I can agree to that. But, specifically an event in my life, I just want to know specifically, know what I want to do in the future. Like, I have an idea what I want to do, but it's not realistic standards. So I'm trying to open myself up of wider branch so I can get to where I want to be. And that's the mindset I have to change. Along with, this is just future me, or present me, trying to fix the future me so I can enjoy things more. Like, I'm struggling to express my feelings. And I'm struggling to enjoy what I used to enjoy.
I mean, struggling to express feelings anyway, talking man to man, that's already a hard thing to do in and of itself. Yeah. As men, we're not natural at truly expressing how we feel. We're usually more so the person that's better at helping out people with their own feelings. Mm-hmm. So that I 100% get. And honestly, my future thing, it kind of stems with you talking about, for me, I would say is knowing that what I do want to do, because I know what I want to do. Other people, there's, like you said, you're still kind of trying to figure out. For me, it's knowing what I want to do, but it works out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, I have, like I want to be, I know this is really, like, all I would say more recently my generation. I don't want to say all of my generation, but more so a big portion of my generation wants to become entertainers and influencers and all that.
Yeah.
And for me specifically, I want to be a YouTuber. And I've been doing that stuff for I don't know how long, and I'm not big at all. I have a very dead fan base. I don't have very active fan base, and I really wish I did. I feel like the biggest time I had with that was probably the easiest time was COVID. But of course, that's when we were all quarantined, of course. But like, I just wish I can get bigger, and it just feels like no matter what I do and how much time I put into something, it just flops. And I just losing that motivation to put effort into stuff when it's not going to turn out good.
You know, I feel like in a lot of ways, there's times where we feel like we should give up on what we want, give up on what we're trying to do.
I'm not giving up.
No, I'm not saying, what I'm saying is, you never know. There could be a moment where it turns a corner. Maybe, as well, maybe try and work around, and in some ways, you never want to go away from what you really want to do at the end of the day. But you also kind of want to intertwine what gets people's attention. Specifically when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yes.
You need to know the algorithms of how stuff works.
Very well, and I struggle with that because I always ask people, "Hey, can you help me with this?" And their answer is, "Oh yeah, I can." It's like, okay, can you help me now? Like, can you give me some advice? And they're like, "Oh, you're doing fine." I'm like, okay, that's not advice. That is just you saying I'm doing fine when I'm not really. Like, sure, I've been told by not by a lot of people, more so people that help push me do my stuff. They genuinely say that I deserve more than what I'm receiving. I deserve more feedback than what I'm getting, I should say. And I can agree to that to a point because I do put a lot of effort and I do put a lot of time into my stuff, and it's shown. But I just need to figure out how to do it in a way that is eye-catching and not foreseen as, oh, this is just another gaming YouTuber. I want to try to do something that's new. And that's where it's hard because I have to say that, make a persona, and I don't want to be that creator faking a persona, but sometimes that's the way to get out there is making a persona, you know? And I don't want to do that. So I'm just trying to be as real as possible, but trying to express more subtle things because I want to do more playthroughs. I'm in the phase right now where I want to play story games, and that is a lot of you need to express what you're thinking and what your actions are going to be rather than just playing the game. And I struggle with that. And I'm trying to get better at, oh, I'm going to do this, or, oh, that, like thinking what I'm thinking, like saying what I'm thinking, brain dump, that type of thing. I need to do better with that. And I'm doing that every time as best as I can.
You know, what I would say is, I would say, really, for you, one thing is to always be yourself through it.
Well, yeah.
You always still want to be yourself. You never want to sway away from being something you're not.
Mm-hmm.
But also, what you need to do is realize that you need to have faith in yourself. You know, that belief, regardless of what other people think, regardless of what other people say, regardless of what people feel about you.
Mm-hmm.
Be you. It don't matter who it is. It don't matter what people think. And if you feel like you're not getting the results that you want, it's not that you need to change everything. Maybe it's one thing. Maybe it's one small, minute detail that could help you reach where you want to be. And, you know, it's not always, oh, I need to scrap it all.
Yeah.
It's always maybe just fine-tune some stuff. Maybe be more organized with stuff. That's one thing I struggle with is being organized myself. And I know I could be a lot more organized. And for me, I'm always doing something constantly, and then I lose track of stuff I'm doing. Instead, I should probably write stuff down and be more organized with everything I have going on a daily basis. But never lose sight of who you are. Keep going for what you want, because you never know. It could be 20 years from now, and then you get what you want. It could be 20 seconds from now.
20 seconds from now would be crazy.
You never know. Everyone's want and desire that they chase after is different. Everybody.
That is true.
You never know. You never know.
One thing I've been told from a entertainer or creator as a person, whatever you're thinking, do it. Don't put it off. Do it. Because someone else is going to think of the same thing and do it and blow up from it or get better results or something. Whatever you're thinking, just do it.
Now, I will say this. This is something that a lot of creators do now to kind of blow up or get their name out there, and it does hurt the pockets. But what you do is sometimes pay other creators to play or post your content.
I thought about, like, maybe... Because I actually thought about that. I'm like, because I edit my own videos. I edit my own thumbnails. I do everything for my channel. Like, I press record. I do all that. So, with that, I thought of actually having one of my friends edit one of my videos. Just because I edit for him, and he doesn't pay me anything, and I told him, you don't have to pay me anything. You're not getting paid yourself, so why would I ask you to pay me?
Right.
I told him, yeah, I'd love to edit for him, and I told him, because I've been helping him along with becoming creator himself, and he's doing good. I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
And I told him, dude, if you ever want to edit a video for mine, go ahead. I'll give you the content. You have free reins to it. I want to see how other people edit so I can get another mindset on what to do and how to go from there and see what is best.
Yeah, no.
I want to try to pay for an editor too. Like, try different things. I there's so many things I want to try, but I don't know if it'll work out.
The thing is,
it's more so me being afraid and rather just do it.
Right. I mean, a lot of people who aren't in this kind of space or whatever, they kind of look at content creators and they just think, oh, it's just fun always.
It's not always fun.
I don't think people realize the amount of work people put in.
You know how many times I stay up until 5 in the morning editing?
Oh, I know. Trust me, I know. People don't really understand, like, the legit grind it is and the lack of money people actually make.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I want you to also think about this. You're probably doing a lot better than even 90% of YouTubers out there already.
Maybe.
Statistically. You never really know.
I don't know.
Think about how many actual content creators are on
There's
YouTube.
A lot.
You're talking millions, borderline billions.
Yeah, that's why it's hard to get out there. You have to do things that are different from other people.
You have to stand out above the crowd.
Yes. And that is hard.
It's very hard. It is very, very hard. But you got to find the way it works. Trust me, in some ways, I feel that too. You know, I feel like you, in some ways, in the post-production or whatever, you probably put in a way more effort than we do. We definitely don't put in that at all.
Yeah.
That we have everything for the stuff that we do already kind of set up. Which, in some ways, I kind of want to maybe long-term go away from that and really try and hone in on the editing side of stuff. Maybe not me personally, maybe find someone else to do it, because I know I'm not a great editor. That's something I'm not good at.
And that's why I always like, hey, I'm literally here for you guys, like you with your podcast. I'm always there as much as I can.
Yeah. Thing is also with the kind of content we create,
it's hard to get people to help.
I mean, it's not hard to get people to help. I could try and find more people to help, but I feel like in some ways it's also, it would need to be edited very quickly.
Yes.
It's very timely because the stuff that we talk about is very
time span. You have to be very organized with it.
Very organized, very thorough, and very
it
has to get out quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, our topics.
So,
I'm a sports guy.
Did you upload your last episode?
Last episode was uploaded Saturday morning.
That's what I thought.
So it's up already. So
I figured. If that tells you anything, I haven't been able to check any of that stuff myself personally, and that's my bad because I tried to look at all your guys' episodes from a standout point.
Let's look, shall we? We have 6 views.
Hell yeah.
Let's go. Some of the episodes, I mean, our most viewed episode on YouTube anyway was the very first one we did.
Which makes sense.
Which went to YouTube.
Anywho, I hate to cut you off real quick, but it is 12:02, and it is the end of our show, but I'll play one last song, Johnny Be Good, originally by Chuck Berry. So yes.
Or Buck Cherry for me.
Buck Cherry for you. And you, this is Johnny Be Good. This is WXUT 88.3. Toledo's Only Alternative, and this is the end of episode 9. We have one more episode before we switch subjects to TV shows. So yeah, enjoy next week's episode, or hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and stay tuned for one epic last episode for movie segment, and we'll be switching to shows. So yeah, see you next Sunday from 10 to midnight for our season finale. All right, enjoy the last song of the night.